Have you ever been so excited about a new goal that you told everyone, only to find your motivation fizzle out just a few days later? It's a frustrating feeling, right? You make a big announcement, get all this encouragement, and then nothing. The project stalls, the dream fades, and you're left wondering what went wrong. It turns out there's a powerful psychological reason for this, and understanding it can completely change how you pursue your goals. Today, we're going to explore a story about a young man who had all the potential in the world, but was trapped by this one self-sabotaging habit. Stay with me, because the lesson he learned is a game changer. In a small, charming town lived a brilliant young man named Ethan. He was smart, charismatic, and had dreams that were way bigger than his quiet hometown. But Ethan had a problem. He was an incessant talker. The moment an idea popped into his head, a study plan, a future startup, he had to tell everyone. He'd hold court in the school cafeteria, passionately describing his grand plans. He thought this was a good thing, a way to hold himself accountable. His friends were amazed, his family was proud, and his teachers were encouraging. That praise felt amazing, like a little taste of success before he even started. But that was the problem. The applause he got for his plans felt almost as good as actually achieving them. And so, despite his endless stream of brilliant ideas, Ethan rarely finished anything. His amazing science project ended up as a last-minute poster. The revolutionary study method was abandoned after 2 days. The startup plan, just notes in a forgotten journal. The energy he got from talking about his goals would vanish, leaving him with nothing but empty promises. One day, after a particularly painful failure, losing the school president election, he was so sure Ethan felt completely defeated. He had made a huge, rousing speech to launch his campaign, but he'd failed to do the actual hard work of connecting with students. The public failure stung. He wandered to an old, quiet temple on the edge of town, a place of peace he often visited. There, he saw a wise old man named Kalen, who always seemed to be tending to the gardens. Kalen had seen Ethan before, always talking, always planning. Seeing Ethan's dejected face, the old man gestured for him to sit down. "You paint beautiful pictures with your words," Kalen began gently. "I've heard you speak of mountains you will climb. But tell me, have you ever held the finished canvas in your hands?" The question hit Ethan hard. For the first time, he was at a loss for words. "I try," he mumbled, "but my plans never seem to work out." Kalen smiled. "Your energy is not the problem," he said. "It is the direction you channel it. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, Kalen started, there lived a poor farmer named Dev, who dreamed of owning a vast, fertile farm. He worked tirelessly every single day, from sunrise to sunset, saving every coin he earned. But Dev had one strict rule. He never, ever spoke of his dream to anyone. The other villagers were confused. "Dev, what are you working so hard for?" they'd ask. "Why not enjoy life a little?" But Dev would just smile and say, "You'll see, when the time is right." Years went by. While others spent their energy on gossip, Dev spent his on work. With his first savings, he bought a small, rocky piece of land nobody wanted. By moonlight, he worked on it, clearing stones and tilling the soil. A few years later, he bought the plot next to it, and then another. He dug a well by hand. He planted his first crops. The villagers barely noticed his slow, quiet progress. They just saw the same poor farmer, working as hard as ever. Then, one spring, After nearly 20 years of silent work, the change was impossible to ignore. Where there had once been barren land, there was now a magnificent, flourishing farm. A beautiful house stood proudly by a stream. The villagers were speechless. How had quiet, humble Dev achieved all this without ever saying a word? An old friend asked him, "Dev, why did you never tell us? We could have helped." Dev wiped the sweat from his brow and smiled. "My friend," he replied, "when you speak too much about your dreams, you expose them to the world before they are strong enough to survive. Words are like arrows. Once shot, they cannot be recalled. Sharing a goal does two things. First, it invites the doubts and jealousies of others. Their negativity can be a poison. But more importantly, you waste your energy. The act of talking about your goal gives your mind a false sense of accomplishment. It releases the same satisfaction you would feel upon achieving it, and it steals the very motivation you need to do the hard work. I chose to keep my dream protected in the fortress of my silence. I let my work be my only conversation. And now, I let my success speak for itself." Ethan sat in stunned silence. The story was his own life, the thrill of sharing his plans, followed by the slow decay of his motivation. It all made sense now. Kalen looked at him kindly. "Your mind is a powerful thing," he said. "When you announce your goal, you trick it into feeling the victory before the battle has even begun. The applause you get for the plan becomes a substitute for the applause you should earn for the result. You lose that hunger that drives you through the hard parts. Silence protects that hunger. It keeps your goal sacred." A wave of understanding washed over Ethan. He had been spending all his fuel on the announcement, leaving the tank empty for the journey. "Can I still change?" he asked. "Of course," Kalen replied. "The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. From this day forward, make a new rule for yourself. Speak less, act more. Let your actions be the thunder. Nurture your dreams in the quiet soil of hard work, and let your success make all the noise that is necessary." From that day on, Ethan changed. He stopped being the center of attention. When friends asked what he was working on, he'd just smile and say, "A few things. You'll see." The urge to share was still there, but now he recognized it as a signal. Instead of talking, he would take action. He'd open a book, start a new calculation, or write a line of code. He redirected all that verbal energy into actual work. Months passed. Ethan poured all his focus into studying for his final exams. No grand declarations, no big announcements, just quiet, focused hours in the library and long nights in his room surrounded by books. His confidence grew, not from praise, but from the solid foundation of his own effort. When the exam results were posted, a crowd gathered. Ethan stood at the back, his heart pounding. As the students parted, he saw his name at the very top of the list. Ethan, class topper. A wave of pure joy washed over him, a feeling so much deeper and more real than the cheap thrill of his past announcements. His friends rushed to congratulate him, totally surprised. "How did you do it, man?" one exclaimed. "We had no idea." Ethan just smiled, remembering the old man's words. "I just decided to let my work do the talking." Years later, Ethan became the successful tech entrepreneur he had once only talked about. When he pitched ideas to investors, he didn't lead with grand visions. He led with a working prototype, with data, with results. He showed, he didn't just tell. He had learned the most powerful lesson of his life. Real success is unborn in the noise of a declaration. It's nurtured in the profound, powerful silence of focused action. Sometimes, the best way to achieve your dreams is to simply be quiet and get to work. So, the next time you have a big goal, try this experiment. Keep it to yourself. Nurture it in silence. Instead of talking about it, take one small, concrete step towards it. Feel that inner drive build up, that healthy tension that pushes you forward. Let your actions be your announcement, and let your results speak for themselves. You might be surprised by how much more you can achieve. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more content on building a better, more effective life. See you in the next one.